I would like to talk about my grandmother. Um, I remember all those times that she would cook for us. I actually talked about this to a coworker of mine quite recently. Whereas she would cook for us, my grandfather, my aunt, or my uncle, whoever's there at their house at the time, because I stayed a majority, a good, actually, maybe not majority anymore because I've been here in Canada for quite some time. But I've spent a significant amount of my younger years with my grandparents. My mother was away. She was either working at the capital, or she was in Taiwan, or she was in Canada. And my father passed away when I was really young, probably probably when I was one or something young like that. Um, but going back to the story, um, I remember she would cook for us, and sometimes it might end up being undercooked, or it might end up unfortunately being overcooked, like burnt. And I remember my grandfather or my uncle would kind of complain about it, kind of state why is it like state how burnt it is or how undercooked it is. Um, at the time, maybe as a child, maybe I said something too. I don't quite remember anymore, but I may have said something as well. But looking back now, as an adult, uh, I feel like if I could change one thing, and that would be to tell the people I was living with that we should be more appreciative of uh, of her efforts. She was the only one cooking most of the time anyway, and she did a lot for my grandfather, myself, and whoever was living at the house at the time. And I think it was quite rude and inconsiderate and ungrateful to kind of nitpick on something like that. Things can go wrong, and I'm sure that my grandmother was trying hard. But I just thought I talked about that a little bit. Mm. I do miss my grandparents. Probably the only two reasons why I would go back to my country is, for one, to eat a lot of street food rather, and well, to eat food generally that I can seem to find here in Canada, um, and visit my grandparents. Those are pretty much the two things, the main things anyway, that I can think of. That would be the only two reasons I would go back to my country and visit. She she pretty much raised me. Like I said, my mom was away most of the time. She did take care of the financial aspect uh, of raising a child. She did work overseas, either in Taiwan, or, well, in the capital of the country, in Taiwan or Canada. But the person that pretty much was there for me a lot of times was my grandmother. Granted, I feel like they could be a bit overprotective at times, you know. But as a child, I found ways to, kind of still have my fun and hang around with children of my age, or older or younger, depending on who my playmates were at the time. Um, Despite their overprotective nature, because of course, I suppose they are concerned that they are responsible if something happened to me while my mother is away in the city, or in another country for that matter. And I understand, and I wish I was able to spend more time with them.